Hello, everyone. This is Catch the Fuck Up. My name is Fern.
And I'm Nicole.
And today we are discussing the most recently released My Hero Academia chapter, which is number 341. And, oh boy.
I opened it and just moaned. I was like, oh no, oh no, oh.
I got excited because I was like, yay, Toga, my favorite little, I don't even know how to describe her. One of my favorite characters, and then I got to the very next page and I was like, oh crap.
Oh no, oh.
This is not going to be fun, unhinged Toga time. This is, we're taking Toga's life seriously time.
Yep. This chapter is heavy. There's
trigger warnings, all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Just assume this is going to upset you.
Yep, because it upset both of us in a multitude of ways. But we could not stop reading because there's a lot. Okay, so I mean, shall we dig in, I guess?
Yes. Oh, okay. We forgot to mention the title of this chapter is The Story of How We All Became Heroes, Part -1. So, yeah.
We're back to that wonderful setup they did for My Villain Academia. I feel like it's a callback to that, like showing all the duality and stuff. So this chapter, we're back to the villains that we all love and want to hold. And we start with Toga. And as Fern mentioned, the second page is Toga's house.
Yeah, the one that she lived in as a kid.
Yeah, where she and her family lived. And now it is all run down and covered with very hateful graffiti.
Oh my God, like the hate speech is out of control.
Yeah, for sure. Hate speech. There was property destruction. I'm hoping nobody actually got hurt there. But basically all the graffiti is like demonizing Toga for her quirk.
Again, and her family.
Again, for something she could not control getting. And society failed her in learning how to make beneficial use of her quirk, beneficial use to her quirk, and just like so many failures for Toga.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So basically the chapter is opening with Toga revisiting her old home, assuming basically like something is about to happen. So she just wanted to like visit here one last time, maybe to galvanize herself, maybe just because she's a child and wanted to see her home. And it's terrible.
She's having a lot of complicated thoughts right now.
Yep. So as she like goes through her house, she like hears her family's voices. She's going through memories she had of her home. None of them were great. And then she gets to the room that used to be her bedroom and she like reminisces, I guess, about the recurring dreams she used to have when she was littler, younger. It's not clear how old she is, but it's before she
ran
her
off.
Classmate. Yeah.
So when did that happen? She was like 15 or 16.
Yeah, she was in middle or early high school, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm going to guess early high school because then that would, draw parallels to our current baby high schoolers.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, and it definitely looks like that could be the case. So basically the dream that she has is of a dancing red sparrow on her stomach, which is like cute, little creepy, nice. The panel is a little not cool in my opinion, but
very triggering drawings. Big on the body horror.
Yep, big on body horror. So then you turn to the next page and basically the dream is the bird has like invaded her stomach, like dug through her stomach and is now making her cute with all the blood and the guts and the cutting open kind of horror. And she liked that dream. It was a good dream. And this poor child. I mean, we're not going to knock people's weird dreams, but also therapy would have been useful.
Yeah, the way she learned to relate to her quirk brought up just a whole host of issues for her.
Yep.
So
yep. Exactly. I do want to point out there's those flowers that you see in a lot of manga. Again, I am not as well versed in all the manga symbolism as well as obviously Japanese symbolism, but the red flower is there. And I'm pretty sure that means like, it means something. I think it's rebirth, but don't quote me on that. So that it's very symbolic and metaphorical. So
yeah,
this is a turning point for her, we can assume.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So then she's leaving, and I was hoping she was going to go to UA and see Uraraka, of course.
I was hoping that too.
But instead we have Angst Lord Toya hanging out in a window because he's just that dramatic. Just it's a nice panel, it's nice and dramatic, but just imagine him kind of wiggling his way up there. It's like, no,
right? Dude, like having to set the scene, like, okay, how exactly am I going to introduce myself?
Yeah. All right. So basically he's like, he and Toga are like having this conversation. It's not quite as antagonistic as their conversations have been in the past. It's a little...
they're actually like Toya's attempting to be his own version of nice.
Yeah,
surprisingly.
Yeah, there's definitely some like, because a lot of the fandom like to think of Toga and Toya as like having a sibling bond. And I think that was a little more apparent here. So that's kind of nice, but also they're both a little unhinged. So as they're having this little conversation, Toya, and you can actually see in the close-up panels that Toya's like scarring is progressing over his face. So that's not fun.
So it's getting significantly worse.
Yeah, that's gotta be so painful. So they're basically talking about what they're going to do next. And Toya says, let's smile, Himiko Toga, and explodes her house with his fire. So there's that. And then he, once again, just dramatic, extra nonsense edgelord dramatically falls
his
out
way
of the window. Bro,
he literally just flops.
Yeah, he does. He just flops. And like, I like Toya, I like Dabi, I like his character, a bit of a simp, it's fine. But honey,
I hate him, but that's mostly gender envy.
Yeah, that's your thing. My thing is, you could be so hot, but also bro.
Oh, okay. He's a strange one.
Yeah, very complicated, obviously, which is why we like him as a character. Anyway, moving along, their conversation progresses is like how they're going to bring down society because that's their whole deal. That's why they joined the league. And as they continue talking, they discuss how Toga's quirk essentially leveled up back when they fought the paranormal war front, whatever they were called.
Liberal, paranormal, blah, 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 whatever they were.
Something, whatever they were, liberation, blah, blah, blah.
Liberation.
Her quirk leveled up so that she can, when she consumes the blood of people she loved, she can use their quirk. Great. Awesome. Wonderful. And it turns out that Toya was able to get a sample. We don't know how much, but he got some of Twice's blood. So from here, they're like planning for Toga to consume his blood and begin his sad parade again and just send an infinite number of clones out to do war, which is what Hawks was trying to prevent, and blah, blah, it's just all bad. But that's
something that UA thought they didn't have to worry about anymore. So they have no clue.
Yep. Just no good all the time. And then they just continue with we're going to burn down society and laugh while it's happening, which I mean, I feel I sympathize with, but also a little too much murder for my taste. So we move along to the rest of the league because this chapter again is showing what
about
they're
them.
up to. It's the duality. It's wonderful. Light, dark, shadows, everything is the same. So we go back to wherever AFO is in his weird, stupid cave. Like, bro, just
his
get a
stupid ass. He has a bat cave. It's a fucking bat cave.
It's a bat cave, and it's not even furnished well, dude. Just get a hotel or something. Okay.
Oh, but there is a throne. There's no furniture except a freaking throne.
A throne, yes, and it's elevated above the rest of the cave floor, dude. No, we don't like you. Okay, so in the cave, we focus on Spinner. Yay, Spinner's wonderful. We love him. And basically, in this part of the chapter, we are seeing that Shigaraki is not having a good time. Once again,
the torture is ongoing.
Yep, he is either healing and or trying to get used to another quirk and more body horror, because it looks this quirk is like multiplying his arm. It kind of reminds me of AFO's arm at Camino, but not in control. So it's like, it's not good, and he's trying to control it. And Spinner is concerned because if you don't that's his crush. If you don't ship them, you are now shipping them, because he is horrified because Shiggy is having a bad time. That like, even if you hate Shiggy like we do, he's having a bad time, and we don't like to see that. So
yeah, exactly.
So it continues. AFO and the dude with the hair from the metahuman
paranormal
part.
Liberation, blah blah blah.
As you can tell, we don't like those characters, so we don't bother to like memorize them.
Yeah, I do not care about their stupid propaganda thing. Yeah, whatever. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, it is. And basically, this guy is the one who can make like clones of other people and control them like a puppeteer, whatever. And poor Shigaraki is like holding poor Spinner is holding one of Shigaraki's like gross dead hands. And he's like, bro, my dude. And then they just, as he's in that bad mental state, they start trying to convince him to be the leader of the new, or rather not new, but it's like the next
version of AFO's army.
Yes. And it's basically made up of a lot of heteromorphs, because heteromorphs face a lot of prejudice in this hero society still, because society still sucks and it's racist and bigoted, and heteromorphs are now the target of a lot of society's hatred, ignorant hatred. So they're basically like looking to Spinner as a lieutenant in the League of Villains as like their hero, as their new savior or leader. And so AFO and the generals, I guess, are going to try to convince Spinner to take on that role and to like
to be like the new face of everything.
Yeah, to be the new leader. And Spinner is like, I'm not feeling that.
He's like, I'm here for my boyfriend.
Yep. I'm here.
I was originally here because of like my hero worship for an anti-hero, and then I caught feelings. So
Yep. He just wants to take Shigaraki home and play games with him, and that's why he's still there, basically.
He just wants to bro out.
Yep. And so they're like trying to convince Spinner to be this leader of the new like heteromorphic centric mob that AFO is trying to control, because he's terrible. And instead of fixing the prejudice and societal issues at the root of the heteromorph hate, he's just going to turn them violent because he's terrible.
Yeah, because he doesn't actually care. He's just saying a bunch of crap to weaponize them.
Yep, exactly. So they're basically just trying to convince Spinner to be that leader. And then the chapter ends with a 2-page spread of a bunch of villains like just moving off towards some unknown destination.
They're starting to march. They're starting to form.
Yep. It's not clear what they're up to. It's not really clear what their plan is. Again, I'm assuming that's going to become clear in the next few chapters. But they're heading towards that. And the chapter does end with Spinner like holding the remote or whatever it is. They're like, they have a remote. I don't know. It's not clear. And AFO is like telling Iguchi, aka Spinner, that everyone can be somebody's hero, as
Ugh.
Spinner and Shigaraki are like locking eyes. So like the manipulation is like really fucking effective, and I hate him. And it seems like their plan is also coming together as the heroes have made their plan. So again, it's like, and then the chapter ends, and it's not clear what they're going to do, but they are certainly doing something. Oh.
Yeah, this was honestly less about plot and more about just getting into the minds of our quote unquote antagonists, basically.
Yep, basically. And Horikoshi does it in such a way that you still feel sympathy for them, because the world sucks and they have good points. It's just AFO is the asshole. I do want to point out, like in that last panel, the fucking sludge villain guy.
Like, yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, "Oh, good lord!" Oh my god,
him. He can't come back if he gets anywhere close to my son and his boyfriend, my other son. Heads are gonna roll. Horikoshi,
I wonder if that's AFO's plan to separate him and Katsuki, is to distract Katsuki with the sludge monster. In which case, I absolutely hate that there's a chance that Katsuki might have to face down like his original.
And Izuku.
But also, I'm trying to look at this positively. I'm like, if this gives Katsuki a chance to kick his ass on his terms instead of being the victim, because like he had to be the victim for plot purposes, but like,
stupidly.
But if he gets I would appreciate him having a more active role in that SmackDown.
Yes, I do like that. And I do know that him being attacked is for plot. It happens, but like,
we just wish it hadn't happened in such a specific way.
Such a specific rapish way. We hate that part of it, but we understand like the overall purpose of the sludge villain's contribution, I guess, to Katsuki's
development
character arc. We get it, we understand it, we don't like it. So I swear to God, if he hurts Katsuki again, heads are gonna roll. But also I hope that he and Izuku get the chance to beat the living shit out of this guy and punish him for what he's done to them and other people. So that's where we are.
Just a little revenge, just like a sprinkling of it.
A treat, if you will, as they,
here we are on like, so basically, God, speaking of revenge, oh my goodness, like this whole chapter is basically about like, something that the characters bring up again and again is like this point of no return of like, well, it's too late to back out now. We've gone too far. And, it really brings up that, ever-present question of how far exactly is too far? Because very obviously, All For One is too far. He's a very uncomplicated villain. We can hate him so easily. And then when it comes to these characters, it's like, well, where exactly do we draw the line of this person is now like unredeemable?
Right, exactly. And I personally don't think any of them are unredeemable. Maybe like some of them can't be fully redeemed, which is fine because we like a good villain, we like a good antagonist. But honestly, mirroring what poor Aoyama is going through, like these
that's the thing. Like Aoyama is a fairly uncomplicated victim. Whereas these characters, it's all the exact same questions that Aoyama is asking himself, but they're like, oh, well, we're different from him. Well, where exactly is the difference? How exactly do we quantify a victim versus a villain?
And what can they do to either truly go off that point or pull back and help the quote unquote heroes in saving their friends and going back to their less harmful ideals, essentially? Because honestly, at this point, like all of them could still turn against AFO. Toga could meet up with Uraraka or somebody else she really likes, and they could like turn away. Toya, I see Toya as the least likely to have a redemption moment.
More because of his personal mindset. Like he's just completely and utterly focused on one thing. And if he doesn't get that one thing, honestly, I think he's just going to crumble.
Yeah. And he's like he's the most willing to go over that point of no return, even if like Shoto manages to get through to him. At this point, he's still willing to destroy everything, and that's
including himself. Like that honestly is like the big takeaway for me for Davi's character. Like his whole character design is that he's consistently willing to punch up his quirk so far that he hurts himself in his efforts to hurt others.
Yeah, he's consuming himself in pursuit of revenge. Poor thing.
And yeah, like really, Horikoshi's really tapped into the fandom, because this is like kind of the heart of like all these different fandom arguments that are going on, because there are plenty of people who see Katsuki as unredeemable.
Which, how dare, but also, but also how dare, because I mean, just looking between him and Toya, just for example, Toya is an adult, Katsuki is still a kid. So there's that fundamental difference between the two of them, as well as, you know, the mindset and the experiences and all that good stuff. But like, there are differences between these characters, mainly in that Katsuki is now trying to make up for what he's done in the past. That is a big like marker of
there's like actual like growth.
There's actual growth. There's like, and that's like the big point of redemption arcs. It's like not what they've done or in the past. Well, yes, what they've done, what they say, blah, 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 but basically what they are trying to do going forward. Are they trying to do good, or are they continuing to try to do bad? It is clear.
And even like, you know, complicating the question of what exactly is good, what exactly is bad. Like you and I were talking about revenge earlier, just a few minutes ago. We were talking about beating the crap out of, you know, Katsuki beating the crap out of his
attacker,
coded rapist. Like, so like, you know, the question of like what exactly is acceptable or not, depending on the circumstances. And then there are like different standards for what's acceptable coming from an individual versus what's acceptable coming from like a socio-cultural institution. And those are two completely different things.
Exactly. And like we're just saying, Horikoshi has laid it all out for us perfectly. And he's done it in a way to show us that it is an imperfect world and an imperfect question, and there are no black and white options or solutions. It is all just coming down to personal choices and how people are essentially aiming society's resources where they need to be, should be, or in this case, where it has been benefiting those already at the top.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, this was heavy.
This was so heavy. And it really tapped into like a whole bunch of questions that I've been like considering in my own head lately. And just what's going on in various fandom spaces and like the puritanicalism and sanitization of fandom spaces. It's he's glued in. He's glued in hard.
And he knows, I'm very certain he knows exactly what he is doing, laying it out as he has.
Yeah, honestly, like each chapter, I mean, this one was really difficult, but honestly, each chapter just gets better and better.
Yes, it's like instead of like simplifying everything or like tying everything into a nice, neat braid, essentially, he is just showing us all the snarls and showing us how anything could really happen as these characters make their choices. And we don't know where it's going, and I am stressed.
No, we don't.
Let's see here. Let me refresh the app. But I do like that it ended with Spinner and Shigaraki looking at each other.
Oh my God. Can we talk about Spinner? I know we've been talking for a while, and like I know this is just going to be a longer episode. It's just going to be.
It's going to be, and it's okay because I just refreshed the app and the new chapter doesn't come out for 2 weeks. So let's chat.
Okay. Yes. Spinner. So like I think it's so interesting because out of all of them, Spinner is the one with the quote unquote like purest intentions. And then he's the one that they single out as someone who could be like the face of the new movement. And so I thought that was like really interesting.
Yes, they're like AFO is tapping into the fact that Spinner is going to, on his own, is probably going to cause the least damage. Kind of like how he did when they were fighting Redestro. He didn't really cause much damage. He was like the viewpoint character sort of, and he was always trying to help Shigaraki. And that's how
like he does his best. He sticks with his team and he doesn't go rogue.
Right. And he basically follows all the rules that are set out for him. But now he's being faced with how to help Shigaraki, his friend, his bro, his probable crush, as these terrible manipulators are seeing that and are using it against him to basically then tap into the fact that he follows orders and giving him these orders, claiming it's going to help Shigaraki and also heteromorphs at large. Again, tapping into
which was exactly his goal from the beginning. Like he doesn't want like the destruction of society or whatever. He just wanted to be like a social activist, but then it got out of hand.
Yep, exactly. Like he got into it wanting to help heteromorphs, but not do it in a way that causes destruction. He just wants to help his bro and like show society that they suck. And
not cause mass destruction. He was very sane. He was very selective destruction focused.
Yeah, he's like, he can have a little destruction as a treat because he deserves it, because he is the unfortunate victim and subject of the societal prejudice against heteromorphs. So like he can have some destruction as a treat, but like he's not out there to hurt people, which I think is the difference between him and like Toya and Shigaraki. Like they want to hurt people, they don't care. Spinner is a little more idealistic, a little more or a little less malignant, I guess.
Yeah,
possibly.
And again, Shigaraki, another one whose quirk also hurts him. So if he has to use it, he has to accept that he's going to hurt himself in the process.
And and if he's going to do that, he might as well hurt other people too, so they know what he's feeling. And it's just a very common like abuse mental health thing where you feel hurt, so you want to cause others hurt. It's very simple.
It's just the cycle.
Yep. And
it's too easy to be on both ends.
Yep. And he's not getting any help from any side in breaking that cycle. Anyway, looking forward to, again, 2 weeks out, rude, but looking forward,
yeah, I know.
it's unclear if we're going to continue with the villains, which I would not mind. Let's see it. The heavy hurts, but it's good heavy. Or are we going to go back to the heroes as they start their plan, as whatever is going on in that last panel looks like some sort of heteromorph mob is going somewhere. Like, is that the starting point to this whole thing? Or again, are we going to go off in another direction and be emotionally traumatized? It's not clear. And there's no clue. So we don't know what's going on next. We're just going to wait in pain for 2 weeks instead of 1.
And I'm still feeling the same way that I did last week. Like, I'm really glad that we got to see this side of things. But also, can we just get this fight over with?
Exactly.
Please?
Let's start it, please. We know it's going to go on for the rest of the year, but the suspense is killing me.
Oh my God. Like, I trust Horikoshi to give us like a good, satisfying, hopeful ending. And I just want to get there already.
Yes, that too. Yes, very much.
I just want to speed read. Oh man.
Oh, well.
I'm going to reread the shit out of this after it's finished.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Also, for listeners listening today who use the Shonen Jump app, a couple days ago, it looks like new team up chapters were released on the Shonen Jump. So for the next 2 weeks, as we're waiting for the new chapter, there's those to read, and I will hopefully have the spoons to read them soon because I have been resting this weekend, but they're there, they're ready, and I will be tweeting about them as I read them. So look forward to that in these intervening 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yes. Okay.
Because I need to get on that.
Else? Yes, you do. Read them. They're cute.
I think we're good. We're definitely a little drained after all of that.
Yes, we are. But it was really good. And we are, again, looking forward to the next one.
Yes.
Seeing what's going to happen. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, thank y'all for listening. As usual, we'll see y'all in the next 2 weeks. Was it? Yes?
Yep.
So we'll see y'all again in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, go beyond plus ultra and catch the fuck up. Bye, y'all.
Bye.